What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Weekly GCap, the only source you'll ever need to catch up on all the gaming news from the last week. As always, we got quite a couple stories to go through, so let's go ahead and get right into this. First things first, let's go ahead and kick things off with every game that released in the last week. So, April 9th, we had Gigantic Rampage Edition for PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. Then we had Children of the Sun on PC, Botany Manor on PC, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Then when we move up to April 10th, we had Inkbound on PC, which is a game that is leaving early access. Then we had House Flipper 2 for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. These were the console versions. The game had been out originally on PC, but now it came to console. And then we had Broken Roads on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. And then we move up to April 11th, and that is where we got Loretta for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. And finally, Let's Revolution for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. I'd love to hear from you guys. Have you guys picked up any of these games? Are you guys playing any of these games right now? Next up, we got the April PS Plus Extra and Premium games for you guys. So, starting things off with Extra, we have Construction Simulator, Dave the Diver, Deliver Us Mars, Lego Marvel's Avengers, Lego Ninjago Movie Video Game, Miasma Chronicles, An Hour Play With Your Food, Oddballers, Raji and Ancient Epic, Stray Blade, The Crew 2, and Tales of Kanzera Zao, which is going to be a day one release coming April 23rd. And they also announced early that Animal Well will be coming May 9th as a day one release, so that's not till next month, but they announced it a while. And then in the premium tier, we have Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, Star Wars Rebel Assault 2, The Hidden Empire, and Medieval. Now, just noting that this is different from the Medieval remake, which is actually still a part of the subscription, I believe. This would be the original PS1 version, but yeah, solid lineup here, especially when it comes to the day one releases. It's pretty cool to see Sony going hard on that. Next up, I just want to let you guys know that Ghostrunner is free on Epic Games. It is free until April 18th at 11 a.m. EST, so you might as well redeem it because there's no better price than free. Next up, the Star Wars Outlaws pre-orders are available now, so we'll go ahead and run through all the different editions. First up, the Standard Edition for $69.99. It includes the game and the pre-order bonus, which the pre-order bonus is the Kessel Runner bonus pack, including a cosmetic pack for your speeder and a cosmetic for the Trailblazer spaceship. Moving up to the Gold Edition for $109.99 USD. It includes everything from the Standard Edition plus 3-day early access and the Season Pass. And the Season Pass of which includes 2 DLCs that will release after launch. Keep exploring the world of Star Wars Outlaws with all new stories, quests, and areas to discover. The quote Jabba's Gambit exclusive mission available at launch, and the Kessel Runner character pack featuring additional cosmetics for Kay and Nyx. Then we move up to the Ultimate Edition for $129.99, which includes everything from the Gold Edition plus the Rogue Infiltrator bundle, including cosmetics for Kay, Nyx, the speeder, and the Trailblazer spaceship, and the Sabak Shark bundle, including cosmetics for Kay and her blaster, Nyx, the speeder, and the Trailblazer spaceship. And finally, the digital art book. It says that it includes a selection of the game's concept art and visuals and unique cinematic storyboards. But if you don't feel like pre-ordering, the full game releases August 30th. But again, you can get 3-day early access if you pre-order either the Gold or the Ultimate Edition. Me personally, I think I'm going to put a pre-order down for the physical version of the Standard Edition. What can I say? I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I've been waiting for this one for a while. Next up, the Rogue Prince of Persia was announced. The description reads, The Rogue Prince of Persia is a 2D fast-paced action platforming roguelite developed by Evil Empire, releasing in early access on Steam May 14, 2024. Join an engaged community, interact directly with the dev team to create the best possible game experience, and enjoy regular content updates. I've been loving all the attention that Ubisoft has been giving Prince of Persia lately. I mean, first we had the Lost Crown, and now we have the Rogue Prince of Persia, and we still have the Sands of Time remake up the pipeline. I mean, I've always been a huge fan of this series all the way back in the day with like Sands of Time and that original trilogy, and then moving up to the PS3 and 360 generation, and then it kind of just like disappeared for a while. It would be quite an understatement to say that I was pretty sad for a while, you know. I was like, are we just never getting another Prince of Persia game? But here it is. I mean, we're in 2024 again. We already had one game release. There's 2 games coming up with Rogue Prince of Persia and the Sands of Time remake. So yeah, loving to see this series finally get the love it deserves. Next up, I just want to let you guys know that Stellar Blade has gone gold. This is coming from Stellar Blade on X. Quote, we're a little late with this post, gone gold. I am so glad this game's getting a physical release, because it's always a toss-up nowadays. Like, is it getting a physical release? Is it not? Just depending on the game, but thankfully this one is, so I will definitely be purchasing it physically when it releases April 26th. Next up, C-Smash VRS is removing its VR requirement. This coming from Gamatsu. Quote, publisher Rapid Eye Movers and developer Wolf and Wood have announced C-Smash VRS New Dimension, a flat-screen version of the currently available virtual reality game C-Smash VRS. It will launch for PlayStation 5 this summer summer is a free update to the existing PlayStation VR 2 version. Pre-orders are available now by means of simply purchasing the PlayStation VR 2 version, end quote. So if you wanted to play this game, but you know, if you're anything like me where it's just like, nope, you don't do VR, well, now you'll finally get the chance to play it, and I think I will dive into it. Next up, the EA Play subscription price is increasing. This coming from GamesIndustry.biz, quote, Electronic Arts is increasing the price for its EA Play subscription service, GamesIndustry.biz understands. The standard EA Play tier will increase from $4.99 per month to $5.99, with the annual fee rising from $29.99 to $39.99. Meanwhile, the EA Play Pro subscription, which gives users extra in-game rewards and perks as well as access to all of the publisher's latest games as soon as they launch, is increasing from $14.99 with the to $16.99, with the annual membership up to $119.99 from $99.99. So, we've been seeing this a lot lately with different subscription services inside of gaming and outside of it increasing their prices, and this one, I mean, I still think it's bizarre that independent publishers are trying to launch their own subscription services. I really feel like, you know, things like Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or Nintendo Switch Online are really the way to go, so you have a lot of variety there. But, you know, if you really like your EA games, you really like your sports games, or, you know, with other services like Ubisoft Plus, for example, then, you know, I guess there's some people out there where that might appeal to them. But just in case any of you are actually, like, subscribed to this service, I figured I'd let you guys know. And it is also worth noting that you do get EA Play for free with Game Pass. Well, I guess it's not free because you pay for it, but you know what I mean. Like, EA Play comes with Game Pass Ultimate, so there's that. Next up, Battlefield 2042 is officially over. This coming from a Battlefield blog post on EA.com. Quote, Battlefield community. When Battlefield 2042 launched, we promised to bring 4 seasons of content to the game, including new maps, additional specialists, weapons, vehicles, and more. As our seasons continued, the feedback we received made it clear appetite for more BF 2042 remained strong. We took the opportunity to evolve the game to make it even better for you and continue to learn valuable lessons for our own developmental processes. While we've enjoyed and are proud of creating these seasons of additional content for BF 2042, it is now necessary for us to turn from the present to the future. What this ultimately means is that Season 7 will serve as the final season for BF 2042. After Season 7 concludes, we will continue to support the game with new in-game challenges, events, modes, and, of course, ongoing maintenance, but we are moving away from delivering official seasons. We know this news may be disappointing, however, as we looked at what the future of the series required, it became clear it was time for us to shift our resources and focus to be fully dedicated to what comes next. To that end, Motive Studio, the talented developers known most recently for their work on the critically acclaimed remake of Dead Space and Star Wars Squadrons, are building a team focused on Battlefield at their studio. We're tremendously excited for Motive as they are bringing their expertise with Frostbite and compelling storytelling to the fold, joining DICE, Criterion, and Ripple Effect and building a Battlefield universe across connected multiplayer experiences and single player. Battlefield 2042 has been an important chapter of the series we all know and love, and your feedback has been important in helping us build this game into something special, while also assisting us in laying the foundation for the future. Battlefield is an experience that is defined by the passion of its community as much as its own team-driven tactics and explosive battles, and I look forward to the day that we can tell you more about what's coming next. Thank you, Byron Bede, which is the general manager at Battlefield. So, the most exciting part about this to me is the part where they emphasize multiplayer experiences and single player. As many of you know, Battlefield 2042 kind of gave the axe to the single player, and I wasn't digging that, man. Like, sure, the multiplayer was still fun, but I really like when my games still had that single player campaign. Like, especially, like, you know, I'm not one of those guys where it's like, oh, every game needs a single player campaign. But when it's a series like Battlefield where they've been known for always having campaigns, it was like when Black Ops 4 first came out, you know, Call of Duty, and they didn't have a campaign there. And obviously to this day, they don't have a campaign in there. Like, they have like the, you know, the specialist missions or whatever, which have some cutscenes, but that's not the same thing. So, you know, it's kind of that same thing where it's like, yeah, the multiplayer is cool, but I really like having that campaign. So the fact that they emphasized single player there makes me hope we're actually going to be getting Battlefield campaign, a single player campaign in the next game. So, yeah, Battlefield 2042 is one of those games where at launch, people were kind of divisive on it. I was always kind of indifferent towards it. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm enjoying the game, but if I'm going to play Battlefield, I'm probably going to go back to Battlefield 1 or 4, if I'm going to be honest. But all around, especially going back to the game today, you know, I've always had fun with it, and I feel like it's only gotten better over time, objectively and subjectively speaking. So, especially when it comes to, like, from a bugs perspective, like, it's much more polished than it used to be. So, I'm excited to see what's next. You know, I've always been a huge fan of Battlefield, so, yeah, I'm wishing them luck in their endeavors, and I'm sure it'll be a few years until we hear about what's next for the series. Next up, the 3DS and Wii U servers are officially offline. This coming from Nintendo, quote, "Thank you very much for supporting our products. At 5 p.m. PDT on April 8, 2024, online play and other functionality that uses online communication was discontinued for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software, including software exclusive to new Nintendo 3DS. This also includes online cooperative play, internet rankings, and data distribution. You can find more information about badges for decorating the Nintendo 3DS home menu using Nintendo Badge Arcade here. We sincerely thank players for using the online services of Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software over a long period of time and apologize for any inconvenience, end quote. Now, while normally this would be a very sad thing, and while it is actually, still a sad thing, just because for the majority of people that aren't in the know when it comes to the gaming stuff, they just aren't going to be able to access online, whether it comes to, like cool leaderboards and stuff like that, or actually playing games like co-op or online or whatever. But as sad as that is, and as sad as I am that the official servers are offline, which means that's kind of like a chapter officially closed in Nintendo's books. I mean, I'm sure it's kind of been closed for a while, but, like it's officially like in the legacy, in the history books for Nintendo now, just with the offline, it's like complete legacy system. But there's things like SSSL and different homebrew programs and Pretendo, which Pretendo is like the big one right now. So I'm not going to go too much further into that just because I don't know how Nintendo is going to be treating this stuff. I don't know if they're attacking people that are talking about it, but if you're interested in playing the 3DS or 2DS or Wii U or any of that online still, look into the names that I just listed. Again, SSS, SSSL, and then just, Pretendo for the Wii U, and just look into the homebrew and modding scene in general. And yeah, there's plenty of life left in these systems, and they will live on for a long time, despite the fact that the official servers may be down. Next up, the Dragon Quest XII producer has stepped down. This coming from Nintendo Life. Quote, Square Enix is currently undergoing a large-scale organizational overhaul, and it seems Dragon Quest has been impacted. According to a new report from Bloomberg, Dragon Quest's top producer Yu Miyake, I think it's how you say it, Yu Miyake, who is now 56 years of age and has contributed to numerous Dragon Quest titles over the years, will be stepping down from the role, following delays of the new entry. He will supposedly head up Square Enix's Tokyo-based smart game division from here on out. Miyake originally joined the Japanese publisher and developer back in 1992, so good 32 years there. As for his replacement, it's believed 53-year-old Nier producer Yasuki Saito will take over his position. Saito is apparently a strong candidate for the role, according to Bloomberg sources, having already worked as a producer on the Dragon Quest series, including Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age. As part of this restructure, Takashi Kiryu is now at the helm as company president. No release date or platforms have been announced for Dragon Quest XII, The Flames of Fate, but if there are any significant developments, we'll let you know, end quote. So, yeah, apparently things are a little rough behind the scenes when it comes to Dragon Quest XII's development right now. Apparently some delays, and again with the producer stepping down, who knows? I mean, this game was announced a while ago, and Square Enix does tend to do that with some of their titles. It depends. Some titles they announce, and a few months later they're out, but for bigger titles like Dragon Quest especially, that one's kind of infamous for, like, it gets announced, and then it's kind of just, like, put away for a while. It's similar to, like, I mean, Dragon Quest XII is probably going to be in the same boat as something like Metroid Prime 4, where they announced all those years ago, but with the producer stepping down and the shakeups going on behind the scenes, I feel like it's going to be a couple years till we see this one. As long as Metroid Prime 4, I hope not, because I'm really pumped for the next Dragon Quest game. I love Dragon Quest. I mean, I love the series in general, right? Whether it be the mainline games, like I loved 11. I've been playing the game ever since way back in the day. I love the spin-off games. It's just, when it comes to Dragon Quest, I'm always looking for an excuse to dive back into this universe, and hearing about this stuff behind the scenes does make me sad, but hopefully everything works out, and especially with, the Nier producer stepping in. I mean, if you played the Nier games, you already know, like, this series will be in good hands, so cross my fingers, and if we get any updates on this, or if there's any substantial news that comes out of it, I'll definitely let you guys know, but hopefully everything works out behind the scenes. Next up, NetEase and Microsoft have made a publishing agreement. This coming from Pure Xbox. Quote, Blizzard has announced its games will be returning to China under a renewed publishing deal between Microsoft Gaming and NetEase. After discussions over the past year, players in China will be able to once again access World of Warcraft, Hearthstone, and many other titles across the Blizzard universe, including Overwatch, Diablo, and StarCraft. Perhaps most interestingly is the news Microsoft Gaming and NetEase have entered into an agreement to explore bringing new NetEase titles to Xbox consoles and other platforms in the future. NetEase is known in recent years for helping Blizzard develop the mobile and PC title Diablo Immortal. Here's a statement about this from Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer. Quote, Blizzard and NetEase have done incredible work to renew our commitment to players. Blizzard's universes have been part of players' lives in the region for many years. Returning Blizzard's legendary games to players in China while exploring ways to bring more new titles to Xbox demonstrates our commitment to bringing more games to more players around the world. And then on Twitter, Phil Spencer posted up again saying, quote, thanks to the incredible work done by Blizzard Entertainment and NetEase to renew our commitments to players, we will soon welcome back millions of community members in China to our Blizzard universes. This is exciting for everyone at Xbox, Blizzard, and for players everywhere, end quote. So, yeah, stuff in China has always been a little finicky, to say the very least, when it comes to gaming stuff. So it's awesome that those folks are finally going to get access to these games again. And from what I've heard and seen over the years, the Chinese, they take their gaming pretty seriously. So something tells me not only will we probably see a reasonable boost in player counts in these games, but also just like, you know, in terms of like skillful players coming in, I'm sure that we're gonna see some quite a number of Chinese gamer tags in the ranked brackets. And before we go any further, let me just say that in real life, I am half Asian, so I am allowed to make remarks like this. And furthermore, I'm not even trying to be stereotypical. I'm just saying, like, if you guys have ever watched Chinese people game, or just, I mean, like, they're pretty good. And finally, this is less of a story and just more of a campaign that I wanted to bring to your guys' awareness. So this is the Stop Killing Games campaign. Their site reads, quote, "An increasing number of video games are sold as goods, but designed to be completely unplayable for everyone as soon as support ends. The legality of this practice is untested worldwide, and many governments do not have clear laws regarding these actions. It is our goal to have authorities examine this behavior and hopefully end it, as it is an assault on both consumer rights and preservation of media." And then they go on to mention The Crew, which is like their main example in this, where obviously, as of March 31st, I mean, the game has just been unplayable. Like, never again will you ever be able to play the game again, even if you have a physical copy like I do. You know, I have a physical copy sitting on my shelf, but guess what? It doesn't matter. I put the game in, I can download the stuff, I just can't play because they shut off the server. So even though I can put the game in and look at the main menu, I can't actually play the game. So basically, they're just trying to make it so that, yes, you know, like, understandably, games are going to go offline over time. They're not trying to stop that necessarily, but what they're trying to look into is the side of it where it's like, hey, once these games go offline, can we put something into place where, like, they're actually still playable if it's feasible? Like, if it's like an online-only MMO, that's probably different. But for a game like this where it could most definitely be feasible to play it offline and solo, yeah, why not just push a patch out? Like, for The Crew, they totally could have done that. So the site is stopkillinggames.com. I'll have it linked in the description right below the chapter, so go down to the description, scroll down past the timestamps, and right there will be a link if you're interested in supporting the movement, or just, you know, this isn't like a financial thing. Literally just going over there, typing some stuff. It'll only take you like 5 minutes, if even that, and you'll be able to support the movement. And I would highly recommend doing so, because, I mean, obviously this is important for me, this is important for a lot of many other gamers, and I mean, if you're watching this, you're a gamer. You want to keep games alive, right? You want to be able to play the games that you like and games that you have potentially paid for. Well, if the answer is yes, as it should be, then yeah, I recommend going there and just taking a couple minutes out of your day to, you know, just fill out the forms. But anyway, that's all the stories that I have for you guys this week. So now I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on everything that we talked about? Whether it's the 3DS and Wii U online servers finally shutting down, which is just still makes me sad to say, or Battlefield 2042 finally getting its support cut after almost 3 years, which honestly, I wasn't sure how long the game was going to last. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, it's either going to die really fast or it's going to last for years to come, but it kind of fell somewhere in the middle, almost like 2.5, 3 years. So yeah, are you guys excited for what's next for that series? Just whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, this is Weekly GCap. New episodes go live every single Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so if you want to catch them as soon as they go live, well then, now you know when to be here. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.